long before airplanes flew above the clouds, before machines shaped the world, and even before the oldest books were written, there was a land where a great civilization once thrived. Today, that land is dry, quiet, and empty. But hidden beneath the soil lies a story of hope, strength, wisdom, and loss. This civilization had no name written in modern maps. Its people spoke a language no one speaks today. And yet, through the silent layers of sediment that covered their cities, they left behind a powerful message. That greatness can be born from unity and forgotten through pride. It all began near a wide river that flowed through a green valley. The river was gentle but strong, bringing life wherever it touched. The people who settled there were simple at first. They built their homes from wood and mud, and they worked together to survive. They learned how to grow food, care for animals, and read the signs of nature. Storm clouds meant rain. Dry winds meant drought. They listened to the earth like a wise teacher, and the earth gave them her blessings. Seasons passed. Years turned into centuries. The small villages grew into towns, and towns into cities. The people built bridges, temples, and towers. They discovered how to make bricks from the clay of the riverbanks. They painted walls with stories of gods, heroes, and the stars. They created music and dance, shared knowledge, and built schools and libraries. No one person ruled alone. Leaders were chosen for their wisdom, not their power. Peace was not just a dream. It was their way of life. They believed they were part of the world, not above it. The sun gave them light and heat. The river gave them food. The mountains protected them from the harsh winds of the desert. They called themselves the children of the earth. But as the civilization grew, something began to change. New generations forgot the old ways. They saw nature not as a gift, but as a resource. They cut too many trees, took too much water, and stopped listening to the signs of the sky and soil. Wealth became more important than wisdom. Leaders began to fight for power, building walls between people instead of bridges. The river, once full of life, began to shrink. The rains stopped coming as they used to. Crops failed. Hunger spread. The strong took from the weak. Some people prayed, others blamed. But the gods gave no answer. In time, the cities turned to dust. The temples, once filled with music and prayer, became silent. Statues of gods were broken. The walls were covered by sand. And slowly, the people disappeared. Centuries passed. The world changed again. New nations were born. New languages were spoken. The old civilization was forgotten. Until one day, a group of scientists came to study the land. They dug deep into the ground, layer by layer. What they found surprised them. Bits of pottery, stone tools, and broken statues. A painted wall, still holding color after so many years. A piece of music carved into a tablet. A child's toy made from clay. And beneath it all, the remains of a city planned with care, built with vision. Every layer of sediment held a piece of the story. From the seeds once planted by farmers, to the ashes of burned homes, to the bones of animals that once ran free. Everything had a voice. The earth had protected this forgotten world, like a mother protects her sleeping child. The scientists didn't just find history. They found a mirror. They saw how people, when united with nature and each other, could build beauty and peace. And they saw how, when they lost respect for the earth and for one another, even the greatest of civilizations could fall. But this is not just a story of sadness. It is a story of learning, of listening. Because buried under centuries of silence, The lost civilization gave a final gift, a reminder that the future is always shaped by the choices we make today. And now, as the world grows louder and faster, their message speaks through the soil. Live wisely, live kindly, and remember you are part of the earth, not above it. The discovery of the ancient civilization did not make headlines at first. A few articles appeared in science journals. A small museum placed their findings behind glass. People walked past them without much thought, but slowly something began to change. A young teacher who visited the excavation site returned home deeply moved. In her classroom, she told her students about the lost people who lived with nature, not against it. She explained how their homes had no locks, because trust was stronger than fear. Her words planted seeds in young minds. Children began to ask questions. Why did they live that way? What caused them to fall? Could we make the same mistakes? Elsewhere, an artist saw pictures of the painted walls found under the sediment. The colors, still alive after thousands of years, showed scenes of people helping one another, sharing food, teaching children, dancing under the stars. Inspired, the artist created murals across gray city buildings. People stopped to look. Some smiled. Some cried. Others picked up brushes and joined him. The story spread across borders and languages. A musician wrote a symphony using the melody found carved into the stone tablet. The music was strange, almost from another world. Yet it touched something deep inside listeners' hearts. The melody traveled across the oceans. It was played in concert halls, on city streets, and in quiet homes. People began to feel a connection to the past and to each other. Scientists and engineers studied the ancient water systems found in the ruins. They were amazed by the knowledge and balance shown by those who had lived so long ago. Some of their ideas were used again in modern cities. Solutions that saved water, protected nature, and brought life back to dry lands. More than anything, the discovery became a symbol that greatness is not measured in steel or gold, but in harmony, a reminder that progress without wisdom is dangerous, that power without kindness leads to silence. In time, people began to return to the forgotten valley, not to build skyscrapers, but to listen. Small communities formed, built with natural materials, using energy from the sun and wind. Children played in gardens, elders taught stories under the stars, and water once again flowed through channels inspired by ancient hands. The earth, it seemed, had forgiven, and in this quiet rebirth, the message of the ancient civilization was no longer buried. It was living in the hearts of those who chose to remember. Not everything that falls is lost. Not every ruin is the end of a story. Sometimes it is the beginning of a better one.
If you enjoyed this short story and would like to see more, please subscribe to the channel and feel free to leave a suggestion in the comments.